excited. 32 cars on the grid for the first time ever, and it's surely going to be a race of incident and interest aplenty.
Let's have a look at how they line up for the opening round of the championship. Tom Ingram is on pole position for the first time with Gordon Shedden, the reigning champion, alongside him. Matt Neal starts third. Sam Tordoff's BMW, expect a quick start from it. It's fourth, the rear-wheel drive BMW, ahead of the MGs. Newcomer Ash Sutton fifth, and Josh Cook lines up sixth. The fourth row of the grid is where you will find Adam Morgan's Mercedes and Jack Goff, despite a spin in qualifying alongside him. Then Matt Jackson, one to watch from Motorbase Performance. He's on the soft tyres as well, and Aaron Smith rounds out the top 10 on the grid. 11th is where you find the best of the Subarus. Colin Turkington with Rob Collard. Expect a good start from him next. Then it's Jeff Smith and Andrew Jordan with work to do from 14th. Rob Austin in the Toyota, he's 15th. Martin Depper alongside. Then comes Aidan Moffat and Andy Neate returning to the championship. He'll start 18th. The top 20 completed by Jake Hill, local driver, and Ollie Jackson in the Audi alongside. Then Hunter Abbott is 21st. Alex Martin for company. Jason Plato will start 23rd. Definitely one to watch. And newcomer Matt Simpson is alongside him. Then it's Dan Welch with the Proton and another of the 6 newcomers, Michael Epps, alongside. Warren Scott should have been 27th on the grid. Propshaft Dramas have put him into the pit lane, but we do have newcomer Chris Smiley on the soft tyres ahead of James Cole's Subaru, and Stuart Lyons in the Ford Focus 30th. The back of the grid, 2 newcomers, Mark Howard and Kelvin Fletcher. They get 2 warming up laps around the Indy circuit at Brands Hatch, and starting 14th on the grid is Andrew Jordan. Andrew, it's going to be busy from there for you.
Yeah, I think it'll be pretty interesting, especially the first couple of laps, but plan is to stay out of trouble and then pick up a few as the race goes on.
And it's a new car for you for this year. How's the Focus then?
It felt really good yesterday, to be fair, mate. It's just frustrating we couldn't quite show the car's pace in qualifying position, but that's done now, so let's crack on with today.
Good luck, Andrew.
Cheers.
So Andrew Jordan starting 14th. It was traffic that seemed to be the problem yesterday, and it wasn't just Andrew complaining about that, because finding a clear bit of track space, Tim, very difficult.
Yeah, it is, and that was reflected when, with 22 cars covered by 9/10 of a second, you know, there's nothing really between them, which is why the racing should be so good. Interestingly, remember last year Andy Prio qualified on pole and started the race on the soft tyre. Now, we do have a different soft tyre, the same construction as the medium this year, but nevertheless, Andy struggled last year, if you remember, and went backwards at the end of the race. Seems like everybody's noted that, and only 5 cars have elected for the soft tyre in this race, and only Matt Jackson of the front-running cars is on that soft tyre. So we'll watch his progress with interest, but I suspect they've all gone, or most of them have gone for the 3rd race of the day.
Jason Plato starting 23rd. The Subarus are here, and they ran for the first time on Friday evening. There was a shakedown for a number of the teams. The Subarus went out for the first time. Great interest from everybody up and down the pit lane, and they progressed all the way through yesterday. Colin Turkington to be 11th, an exceptional job. Jason had dramas with the brake bias that compromised his session, but we know he's a proper racer, so don't expect him to be 23rd for long.
Yeah, I don't expect to see Jason getting stuck in perhaps in his normal way, because the one thing he wants to do is complete the race distance and learn about the car. Well, he doesn't want to do that by hitting anyone at the start.
And the other thing, they've only just finished building the 4 cars. They haven't got many spares.
No, they haven't.
If they are in trouble for body panels, Warren Scott's car potentially will have to be cannibalised to provide the bits. But let's not be looking at the doom and gloom side of all of this, because for now, we've got one of the cars admittedly in the pit lane being worked upon. It would be Le Patrons, wouldn't it? So Warren Scott may be a non-starter unless he can join in late and get the data, which is what they need.
Other interesting thing is the right-hand side of the grid is the damper side of the track. You saw that underneath the wheels of Ingram's car. It's not quite as dry look as the left-hand side, the right as we look at it, which features Shedden.
So we are almost ready. 24 laps for the opening round of this year's British Touring Car Championship. Those 2 rather ominous-looking orange Hondas then lined up with Tom Ingram just ahead on pole position. And the field is just about set. Round 1 of the 2016 Dunlop MSA British Touring Car Championship is ready to go. Lights go red, lights out. Ingram makes a good start. Can he hang on to the advantage? Yes, he can. Gordon Shedden slots in behind him in second place. And what about Sam Tordoff in the BMW? Is he going to be able to find a gap on the inside? No, but Jack Goff has made a good start. Look, from 8th, he's round the outside. He's 5th, he's almost 4th. The MG's come into the mix as well. But Ingram it is who leads on the run up towards Druids. They're 3 wide for 4th as they dive into Druids, and there's drama already. Sideways and off the road there is the Eurotech Honda Jeff Smith, I fear it was, at the wheel, who's got all crossed up. He's back on again. No, Martin Depper, the sister car it was that got it wrong, but Ingram leads the way.
And Ash Sutton has driven through to 4th place. A fabulous first lap from Ash Sutton in the British Touring Car Championship. He's pushed his way through past the BMWs while Tordoff and Goff were fighting it out. But at the front, Ingram made a perfect start on that damp circuit.
He leads at the end of lap 1 of 24 then. So there was pressure at the start. Now there's pressure not to make a mistake as Adam Morgan, look in the background, comes up to have a look on the inside. Can't find a way past Jack Goff, and he fends off Josh Cook. There's a bit of contact behind as Matt Jackson gets a tap, and he's sideways. He's in the gravel. Bounces his way back onto the road, but Andrew Jordan finds a way past him. There is a yellow flag zone out on track. They're going to be approaching that shortly because we've had a spin from one of the Volkswagens at the end of the lap, but the car has just got going. So Mark Howard, it was in strife. There is Aaron Smith in the other Volkswagen CC. He is running strongly in 11th place as now, look, Collard and Tordoff, the teammates, get together. And off the road, Mike Epps, that's at Graham Hill Bend, and Chris Smiley has gone with him. And off the road, there is Tordoff rotating at Surtees.
Yeah, one of the Subarus went off. It was Turkington as well. Turkington's been off. So that's a shame. He was the highest placed of the Subaru Levorg drivers. Matt Jackson, a very... oh, look, he's gone past on the inside of his teammate. And he's going to do it as well. Oh, my goodness me. Jackson had made a great start, actually, and moved up a few places for that tap that sent him into a half spin at paddock. But he's fighting back.
He's every man for himself at Motorbase, isn't it, as they head towards Druids. Wow. So Matt Jackson goes through, grass and all. We understand there was contact between Collard and Tordoff, which is why there was that drama down at Surtees. We'll catch up on all that in a moment. As on board with Andrew Jordan, you're looking at the back of Matt Jackson's car now. He is back up, Matt, into 10th place as they work their way into Surtees. That is Hunter Abbott having a big lose. Alex Martin is off in a void, because that's a big impact into the Armco. Alex Martin has done a lot of damage, look, to the front of the suspension. He had to swerve to avoid Hunter Abbott, and that is a car with a lot of damage. And I just fear for Tom Ingram's advantage of half a second, because if a safety car is needed, so that can be moved to a safer place, all the gaps are going to close up, aren't they?
They will, but it'll give Tom just a chance to sort of have a little think about it and refresh. The safety car isn't actually out yet, but I'm sure it will be. The Parkham, there's debris on the track. Yeah, they've slowed down.
Oh, blimey, that's brave. Yellow flags wave. Leaders go through, and because of the yellow flag zone, meaning no overtaking, Tom Ingram stuck behind the back marker. Gordon Shedden's going to have a look. Is he on the inside? The safety car is deployed. The safety car comes out. That's on board with Shedden right into the back of Tom Ingram, who, of course, is now tucked up behind Chris Smiley, who's just joined in for the pit lane. Over the timing line, they come back. Marker gets out of the way. No, he does not get out of the way, because out comes the safety car. Mark Howard, in fairness, it is. Chris Smiley's pit stop has brought him back into the race, but Mark Howard, after his spin at the end of lap 1, is waved through, or will be, by the safety car team to say, no, you can go, we want the race leader.
Well, interestingly, all the drivers were surprised with a questionnaire at the drivers' briefing, asking them a questionnaire about the regulations to see if they knew all about them. I gather there was some slightly cynical answers given. The worst offender will... Now, we're just going to have a look at a replay. This was coming through Clearways.
So that was lap 1, Mark Howard getting it wrong. That's why he fell to the back.
Unfortunately, why he didn't get into the gravel. This was Matt Jackson just getting tapped out wide. Not sure who the contact was with there. And you see Andy Jordan, his teammate, going through. Those plates got returned later on. This is the end of the Alex Martin accident. But this might be the early... Oh, this was how... Oh, it was Tordoff and Collard that came together. Well, that won't do much for Team Harmony at race 1, will it?
No, exactly. So the two touch, and the safety car is currently on track, although Alex Martin's car has been moved pretty much out of harm's way, so I can't imagine it's going to be that long before we go back racing once more. Let's see as the cars work their way down through paddock. Race order, let's just catch our breath. Tom Ingram leads, Gordon Shedden is second, it's Matt Neal running third, Ash Sutton fourth, fifth Jack Goff, sixth now is Adam Morgan, seventh is Josh Cook, eighth Aaron Smith, who has done the fastest lap of the race, ninth is Rob Collard, 10th is Matt Jackson, and that spin for Tordoff put him down to 20th. So we've got the field then turning their way down towards Graham Hill Bend and looking to see if the lights go out on top of the safety car. As I say, Alex Martins Ford has been pulled out of harm's way, so can't be far off going back racing, I wouldn't have thought, as the field turns its way through. And Tom Ingram has got to control the restart now. Colin Turkington with quite a bit of damage. We saw him off the road, but there's more evidence as to why there.
Yes, he won't appreciate that. Interestingly, the Subaru's a left-hand drive. Now, of course, it was a new build car. They could have built it left or right-hand drive car, or either side, but that damage is in the driver's door. There's an extensive safety roll cage there, so the driver will be protected. But I asked Jason why they chose left-hand drive, and he said it gives them much better vision of the apex because the driver sits quite a long way back. If it was right-hand drive, his vision would be obscured by the pillar, the windscreen pillar. So interesting thought there.
So now you know, because there is always the question as to why some cars are left-hand drive and others are right-hand drive, as the marshals busily sweep the circuit, and Tom Ingram then maintains this advantage. You can't overtake, of course, while the safety car is out. You've got to hold station, but now the restart is going to be going through his mind, but he's done it in other categories. He's taken part in touring car races with safety car periods, so he knows how to treat them, but it'll be something extra to factor in now that he's a race leader. But it was a great start that he made. The lights are out, so we're going to be back racing this time. It was going to be 24 laps, but that will be extended because of this safety car period. And now Tom Ingram starts to bunch them all up, and then he'll want to floor the throttle and try and steal an advantage.
Yeah, and so far he's done everything right so far. He's just backing the field. Look, that's the on board from Shedden. He couldn't really be any closer. Sometimes you can be a little bit too close because you can't get any momentum. Look, he's already gone. He's gone. That was a good restart by Ingram. He was just weaving as though he's warming the tyres up and then picked his moment to go. Looks like Shedden's been on the case of Matt Neal's dropped back a little bit.
Here they come then over the line. Ingram it is who has the advantage. He's chased over the timing line by Gordon Shedden. 4/10 of a second it is between them. Matt Neal runs third. Ash Sutton fourth, one of the other stars of the weekend. We're talking a lot about Tom Ingram, but Sutton, first time out in a touring car, has been really impressive. Turkington has pitted, and Jack Goff is defending from Adam Morgan as Josh Cook comes up round the outside. He was seventh and he stays seventh. Can't quite find a way past Morgan, who's busy looking for a way past Goff as well. Great little battle here, and they've got Aaron Smith behind them as well, who's had a fairly quiet winter, not really knowing whether he was going to be back in the championship or not. The deal came about very late, and although it is the car that Colin Turkington drove last year, BKR is a new team into the championship, and here is Aaron Smith, the BKR 8, as there's contact. Cook on Morgan. Adam gets sideways in the Mercedes. Does he hang on to the place? Just about. He keeps his nose in front as they come up towards the line, but Cook in the MG will have the inside for paddock. Aaron Smith looking for a tow as well. Take a big deep breath into paddock, they plunge. Cook goes through, Smith goes through, and Collard is going to try and buy into this on the inside, and here comes Matt Jackson as well. Adam Morgan gets all hung out to dry on the outside there.
Yeah, this is like NASCAR racing. If you get pushed out wide, you just can't get back in, and poor Adam Morgan's had to do half a lap all the way around the outside before he finally gets to a left-hand bend and he can tuck back in on the inside. And Jackson's got a bit of an overlap here as they come in on the Cooper Straight, and now Jackson's going to have him into Sterling Surtees and does get through.
But Morgan fights back, has a look up the inside, but no, Matt Jackson has covered the line. Interesting, isn't it? Because he had his moment earlier on, and he's making progress, whereas Andrew Jordan, admittedly, who doesn't know the Ford as well, it's the first time he's raced the car, he's not, as yet, being able to get himself up the order.
Jackson is on the soft tyre, though, so maybe benefiting at this stage in the race with that softer tyre.
So we'll see whether that pace continues, therefore, to the very end. Look back, Jordan's a bit busy defending at the moment. He's got himself involved in a battle, has he not, with Aidan Moffat. So, yeah, Jackson is the highest placed of those on softs. Dan Welch is another driver on softs, 18th in the Proton. So it's going to be interesting, isn't it, therefore, to see whether it all changes around between those Motorbase Fords late in the race.
Man on the move is Jack Goff. He set the fastest lap of the race on the last lap. He's in 5th place, but he's closing on that front four, Sutton being his first target. The BMW takes a little while to warm up its tyres, but look, he's definitely catching that front group.
Here he comes up towards the line, and don't forget that this year the regulation for the grid for race 2 is based on the finishing order of this race. We go back to the old system, forget about fastest laps and all of that. Now it is all to do with your race finishing position. So Jack Goff currently running 5th, but he wants more places in this race because it's more points for the championship and it's a better grid position for race 2. The lead gap, Tom Ingram to Gordon Shedden, is half a second. We are on lap 11 and it's a 27 lap race now because of the safety car.
Well, they're big shoes to fill, stepping into that BMW in place of Andy Prio, but Goff is showing every sign that he's up to the job.
Gordon Shedden then, reigning champion, chases Tom Ingram as they work their way to the end of lap number 11 now. Behind it still Matt Neal running in 3rd. Ash Sutton doing a tremendous job in 4th place, keeping Jack Goff at bay. The two of them are very close indeed as they head over the line. The gap between the race leaders is now 0.6 of a second. Last lap through, Tom Ingram just fractionally quicker, but he's now got traffic ahead of him. Look as they head up toward Druids.
Yeah, on board with Shedden. You can see the closing into Druids and the opening of the gap as they accelerate out. That's not one car necessarily being better on the brakes, it's just the timing of it. One car brakes before the other and then accelerates before the other. This is the best corner, Surtees, as you come through there, clip the curb, car gets a little bit bumpy, just brake in a straight line. Middle of the road is generally the front-wheel drive line up into clearways, using all the road on the outside, then cutting back to the inside to shorten the distance to the traffic, to the finishing line.
Through they come. 12 laps are in the book. The gap was 0.6 last time. It stays at 0.6 of a second. Remember, everybody running ballast-free in this race as you have a great battle going on lower down. Matt Simpson in the ex-Shedden Honda losing out to a recovering Sam Tordoff. Also in the mix is Dan Welch with the TOCA engine in the Proton this year, and that has given it a whole new lease of life, hasn't it? Because there he is mixing it. He's in a battle and he's moving up the order.
It's great to see Dan Welch actually racing.
Yeah.
So much of the time last year and the year before he was struggling with engine problems, and he's finally done what everyone's been telling him to do for 2 years and stick a TOCA engine in there and go racing.
And it's been a big struggle to get the budget together for another season, but they're on the grid, and there's a lot of support for Dan Welch. He's a proper underdog in this, and he's up into 18th place now, so making good progress. Matt Simpson behind him with a great pedigree in oval racing, former European national hot rod champion. His father was a great star in the ovals as well, as Chris Smiley is sideways ahead of us here. On board with Kelvin Fletcher, first time in the British Touring Car Championship, but we know how well he's gone in minis, in Porsches in the past, and also in celebrity races. So as he finds his feet in touring cars and gets some more miles under his belt, he'll be one to watch. Jack Goff, meantime, is all over Ash Sutton like a rash, isn't he? Nose to tail down at Graham Hill Bend here.
Yeah, they've been passing the back markers. Look, Turkington's battered Subaru. They've passed that, and the gap has broken out between Matt Neal in 3rd and Sutton in 4th. But now he's focusing all the time. Look at that. He's going to try and get the overlap with the traction off the corner. Can't quite get alongside before Sutton shuts the door. Of course, Sutton has come from Clio racing, so he knows about close door handle to door handle racing. But the BTCC, a slightly different kettle of fish. I don't think you'll get around the outside there, Jack, and you might actually end up being overtaken by Josh Cook. Yes, that was a mistake. Josh Cook in the other MG is going to get up the inside.
And take Aaron Smith with him as well. And Rob Collard is in the mix, isn't he, as well? So we know Rob is a proper feisty racer. So is Aaron Smith. So, yeah, Jack Goff running wide, losing one spot. Now Smith has to defend from Collard. And on the soft tyres, Matt Jackson is in this battle pack as well. Collard now trying to attack and defend at the same time. Tremendous battle going on here. We are on lap 15 of 27. Jackson is on the back of Collard, who's on the tail of Smith, who's looking for a way past Goff, who wants to get back ahead of Josh Cook. The MGs, a brand really with renewed pace this year after a disappointing season last year. Here is Sam Tordoff and Hunter Abbott ahead, and Ollie Jackson comes across the road, clatters into Hunter Abbott, and then, with broken suspension, is out of the race.
Yeah, and Hunter Abbott has retired as well with broken front suspension, so both those cars out of it. That was, going back to Jack Goff, that was a mistake to try and go around the outside of Ash Sutton. Whether he just outbraked himself and found himself wide, but it certainly was cost him nearly 2 places, and he's now no longer looking at fighting Sutton for 4th. He's now trying to get past Sutton's teammate Josh Cook for 5th.
Aaron Smith, meantime, looking for a way past the BMW as they turn their way towards the timing line. Up front, it's still Tom Ingram leading the way. The gap hovering around the 0.6 of a second mark. It's gone up to 0.7 of a second this time as Tingram leads Flash. Then it's Matt Neal in third, Sutton fourth, Cook fifth, sixth is Goff. So the man that drove an MG and took a race win last year, chasing the pair of them at the moment. Seventh is Aaron Smith, eighth is Collard, ninth is Matt Jackson, and the top 10 rounded out by Adam Morgan, who was running in the top 6 before he got elbowed out of the way a little bit in that very fierce fight a few laps back. We're on lap 17 of 27 in round 1 of the British Touring Car Championship for 2016. And there is Tom Ingram ahead of Gordon Shedden. Last time around, that gap extended to 0.7 of a second. And lower down the order there, Adam Morgan is coming under attack now because Jeff Smith going really well this weekend. Jeff Smith in the Eurotech Honda, he is on the back of the Mercedes.
Well, I was watching Jeff Smith in practice and he was like a man possessed. He was pulling moves on people in practice that looked like he was racing for position. He really has come in with a determined attitude this weekend and is going very well. Obviously another car with the Toka engine, the Swindon Toka engine, which has had a bit of a boost increase in a new camshaft for this year, and all the Toka engine cars are going very well.
And a word about the MGs, because Triple Eight these days has relocated. It shares operating space with BMR. And Carl Foe, who was instrumental in building the MGs, of course, is at BMR, and I think he's had a good look at the MGs over the winter. And now they are back up the grid as well, so the MGs looking far more competitive than they were last season, and you've got 2 very hungry drivers behind the wheel as well. Towards the completion of lap number 18 will come the race leaders in a moment. It's still Tom Ingram ahead of Gordon Shedden. Last time through, the gap was 0.6, and it's still hovering around the 0.6 mark. We start lap 19. And over the timing line, Aaron Smith is still looking menacing, isn't he, against Jack Goff for 6th place. And Aaron Smith has just got on with life, hasn't he, over this weekend? A lot of the attention has been around different drivers, different teams, but he knows the car, he knows how to race in the BTCC, he knows how to win, and he's just got on with it. And here he is with BKR, a team new to the championship, admittedly with a lot of help from BMR, and a very good product in the Volkswagen, but this is a very impressive debut for the team.
Yes, it really is. I mean, they basically were handed over all of the kit, and there was a lot of it, if you remember, from the BWCCs, and they've got on with it and done a very good job. And having Aaron there as a consistent carryover from last year is a great thing to do. And as I say, there's another one with a Toka engine that's been upgraded, so he's going to be strong. The BMW he's fighting against, it couldn't be more different. In fact, that car has had virtually a complete redesign, boasts a new engine as Aaron gets up the inside. Goff is going to try and close the door, just gets across in front of the nose, but meanwhile Collard gets round the outside.
So Collard has got Smith, and now he tries to find a way past Jack Goff, and he's done it. 2 corners, 2 places gained. Fantastic. We always say how good a racer Rob Collard is, and that was proper opportunistic skill to learn on the ovals, where you have to go around the outside to gain places in hot rod racing, which is where Rob started, and he's put that to good use. Fantastic. So Collard gains 2 places, and Smith now gets a little bit more robust, doesn't he? Elbows his way up the inside of Jack Goff. Matt Jackson tries to buy into this as well as they head up towards the line. So the dog-eared Volkswagen is on the inside for Paddock. And can Matt Jackson find a way through as well? He's right on the back of Smith. Smith goes ahead of Goff. Here comes Jackson. Job done.
Yes, well, Collard was really upset with his qualifying performance, and Adam Morgan's going to be the next one to get up the inside. And Jack Goff will be really disappointed with this. And there's a certain element of adapting to rear-wheel drive here in the race situation. He may have an issue, may have a problem we don't know about, but certainly losing places at the moment.
So Adam Morgan has gone ahead of him, and now Jack Goff is trying to keep at bay Jeff Smith. Jeff will be delighted with this, won't he, to be running up there with some of the real stars in the championship. He's got better and better year on year, Jeff Smith. And of course, he owns the team. Eurotech bought that from the Jordans a couple of years back, and he heads now towards the timing line. He is looking to try, if he can, to break here into the top 10. Point to go down to 15th place. Plus, of course, you get a point for leading a lap for pole. So Tom Ingram started as the championship leader, effectively, and you get a point for the fastest lap as well. The fastest lap is still claimed by Jack Goff. Tom Ingram's advantage is 0.8 of a second, and we're on lap 22 of 27 now.
Yeah, lap times have only actually dropped off by about 0.4, so not much deterioration, possibly because the track is actually still improving. It was very slightly damp at the beginning, so maybe actually the track's improving. Plato doing as we expected, basically running around, getting some mileage on the car, not doing anything too dangerous. He's running in 20th place, just getting experience.
lap after lap, more data is brought back, and all the cars doing different things on setup to get that data. And Jeff Smith is off the road, having just said how well he was going. Jeff, you've let him down. He's run wide at clearways through the gravel. He's bounced back onto the circuit, so he's still going. But where does that drop him to? It will bring now Andrew Jordan up to 11th, Aidan Moffat 12th, Jake Hill to 13th. That was what Jeff Smith did.
Yeah, it didn't look like there was any contact there. Looked like he just ran into clearways a bit too hot and ended up like, what a shame. What a shame to end his race that way. He was doing so well, but we can't give enough credit to Ingram at the front. The gap has stayed at just under a second, so certainly not enough to relax with, but he's kept that pace up throughout the race and kept the gap consistent.
Gordon Shedden running there in second spot. In turn, he's 2.7 seconds up the road against his teammate Matt Neal. So there is a gap between second and third as through paddock they go. Lap 24 of 27 here. Ash Sutton still in fourth. Let's not forget about the fact that this is the first touring car race that he has done. He hadn't sat in the car until media day, which was not even a fortnight ago, really. And there he is ahead of Cook and Collard. Good battle lower down. As running out of road is Sam Tordoff, who toboggans his way through the gravel at the bottom of Paddock Hill. He was looking to try and find a way past Jake Hill in that, and it's gone against him, so Jeff Smith buys back into it. Smith was 15th, one place gain. He's back up to 14th now, and you've got Dan Welch in that group as well. Every lap, every corner, seemingly something changes, and there is a very battle-scarred Subaru of Colin Turkington.
Yeah, well, it's been a total reversal of fortunes for the BMW team, because Tordoff started fourth, and he's now the lowest place of the BMW. And it's Collard, who, as we said, has such great racecraft, has now come through and, in fact, is in sixth place. And, yeah, a bit of role reversal there. Side by side now, Tordoff finds himself fighting with Dan Welch.
And that's for now 15th place. Tordoff was ahead over the timing line, but Welch goes back ahead on the inside. And look at Matt Simpson as well, up behind him in the Speedworks Run Honda Civic. Now, from, again, Oval Racing, Matt Simpson isn't short of racecraft. He knows how to stick out his elbows and get involved. It might be his first touring car race, but he's done a lot of club racing in the Intermark category for silhouette-type cars, ex-National Hot Rod Machinery, so he knows the Brands Hatch Indy circuit well. He's done many laps around here. He's done a lot of testing as well over the winter.
Yeah, he has good to get plenty of seat time in the car, and certainly showing great potential. The car livery looks good, well, in Simpson colours, and we're back to the leader, Ingram, still controlling it. In fact, the gap has gone out to 1.5 seconds now, so the Speedworks team and Tom Ingram and all his loyal supporters and sponsors and fans will be getting very, very excited at the moment.
And they know how to celebrate at Speedworks as well. The parties that went on for when Tom had his second place at Rockingham went on for days. If he can take a win here, we might as well get liver poisoning. There'll be so many parties that the Dicks will organise. So Tom Ingram is about to come through to start the last